in order to succeed, I have to fail.
That's it.
Which, and what the beauty of that is, when you really get this, then you stop stopping yourself. Then you lean in, then you make the offer, then you fire the team member, you hire the team member, you invest in the coach, you move, your practice from this area to this area, right? You tell the people in your life what you're actually embarking on. Like, there's all these things that we don't do.
Right.
You need to start to do them, because failure and success live on the same street, period.
Welcome back to another episode of the Charyse Williams Show. Oh my gosh, you guys, I am so excited to share this beautiful being with you today. First of all, let me tell you what we're going to be talking about today. You're scared of your power, not of failing. That's it. You're scared of your power, not of failing. And we're going to have this really juicy, delicious conversation with none other than Tracy Litt, you guys. Hey there, Tracy.
Hi, I'm so excited.
Me too. Let me share with them a little bit about you. Now, listen, I'm not going to do it justice, because how can I share with them all of who Tracy Litt is in 20 seconds? But I'm going to do my best. So Tracy Litt is the founder of the School of Becoming. She's an international best-selling author, podcast host, science and spirituality teacher, and emotional healer. Tracy also holds her licensing in professional coaching, neurology, somatics, and hypnotherapy. Her revolutionary institute, can I say that again? Her revolutionary institute, the School of Becoming, integrates consciousness, neuroscience, healing to help her students evolve into the next level version of themselves. It all starts with the core curriculum, identity evolution methodology, also known as mind magic. And in every experience, the School of Becoming delivers women experiencing a depth of love, connection, and community that is unparalleled. As Tracy states, community is the medicine. It is. Welcome, Tracy.
Thank you. I am so happy to be here with you. I could just spend this whole time staring at your gorgeous face and be completely satisfied, which I think your listeners also could do. They'd just be like, look at you. You're like a walking sunshine. The world is better because you're in it. And I'm so grateful to be here.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that so much. And, I feel the same doggone way about you. When I tell you, you're just you're a breath of fresh air. You're like a tall drink of water on a hot, sunny day. You're just all that and a bag of chips. And you're so much fun. So seriously. So this is, y'all are going to get so much out of this conversation today. So one of your quotes, I shared this with you off camera, Tracy, but one of your quotes that just spoke to me is, and many of your quotes speak to me, but you're scared of your power, not of failing. Can we just sit with that for a second? And then we'll start there. I'll let you just jump in and tell us more about that.
Yeah. So while we're sitting with this, I want to invite all of you to close your eyes if you're not driving or operating heavy machinery, and take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale. Just one more time, in through the nose and exhale. This is a little bit of what it feels like to start to slow down and be connected to yourself. And when you're connected to yourself, the truth shows up. And it's important contextually when we're about to embark in a conversation about failure and success, because I want you to pay attention to your body. I always want you to pay attention to your body, but right now, just in this conversation, really bring awareness to sensations, moments of contraction when we're talking, moments of expansion when we're like, oh my, yes. So here's the thing. It's not failure that we fear. It is success that we fear. It's simply that our world operates with such normalcy around failure that it's so much easier to say that what we're fearing is failure, because number one, it's acceptable. Number two, you can commiserate about it. You could walk up to any other fellow, business owner and say, oh my God, I'm not doing that thing, so I'm so afraid to fail. And then he or she will be like, oh my God, me too. And then you have that connection, which is part of our primal need, right? As humans, we need that connection, because there's no world where you're walking up to another entrepreneur and being like, oh my God, girl, I am so afraid of how successful I could be. Like, I am flipping out over how much success, how great I am and how great it can get, right? Even now, as you're listening, you're probably like, yeah, it sounds ridiculous. The truth of the fear of success is because what it is that you define as success, right, which lives outside of you in your next level, it is unfamiliar to you, right? It is unknown, right? You're moving towards something, you're creating something, you're here, you're working with Charyse, and you are embarking on a total shift in your initial decision, in your healthcare, right, choices, and now you're a provider and you're expanding and you're doing new things. And all of those new things, the person you need to become, which we know is the deal, the behaviors, the actions, the way that that person shows up, how you see yourself, all of that lives in the unknown and the unfamiliar. And that's where all of your success lives. And anytime you embark on the unknown, fear is going to be omnipresent. When you start to move outside the lines into that version of you that is successful, embodying that version, even allowing that level of success, your nervous system perceives that as unsafe, right? And that's when our fear response gets triggered. So it is not fear of failure. You're good at failure. We're all good at failure.
Right.
We're all good at failure, right?
Yeah, been there, done that.
The only real problem we have with failure is that most of you need a little paradigm zhuzh, which I'll give you right now, which is, failure through the lens of who raised us to no fault of their own. They had they had limited accessibility to modalities, healing, consciousness, thought work, all of that. Who raised us in the world that we live in, which is a very, very third dimensional, control matrixy, fear-based world, brought us up to perceive that if we fail, it means something about us. Right. This is really like the unpacking of it. It's like, oh, okay. Because really what we know, and I'm sure even some of you listening are like, yeah, I know failure is for learning, but you don't really fully believe it because you're still not like allowing yourself to move through the failure.
Right.
So recognizing that failure doesn't mean anything about you at all. Failure is simply when something doesn't go the way you intended it and you receive a different set of data, right? Different information comes back to you because the thing that you intended to go a certain way doesn't go the way you intended. And whoever created words decided to call it failure. But because of how we operate in the world we live in, it becomes this reason to tell ourselves that we suck or to make it mean something about us. And that's not it. Failure itself is gorgeous, luscious, required, and the only singular place that you are going to get enough valuable data to arrive at success.
Oh my God, you said a mouthful. We could just end right here, right now, because that was a lesson in of itself. And it's so true, but I'm going to take a step back for a second because I know if this is the first time people have heard it from that perspective, like, wait a minute, wait. Like your brain's kind of scrambling right now. And you're like, wait a minute, what do you mean? Like failure's a good thing? Yes. Like you said, and Tracy, it's data. I always say, it's never a win or a lose, right? Or fail. It's a learning. You learn. And doggone it, some of my best moments and my most profound shifts in life and in business is because I, air quote, failed, but I got so much rich learning, so much data from that so that I knew how to proceed. And then it was like, I was off to the races.
That's
and
right.
And so, someone I worked with years ago, like, I don't know, probably 10, 15 years ago, said that we can be our own worst abusers. Right. So like when we fail, what do we say about ourselves? Like you mentioned, we suck, we're awful, we're not good enough, whatever it is, all the stuff that we say, we wouldn't dare say out loud to anyone else, what we say to ourselves. Right. And so I thought that was really profound when he said we are our own worst abusers and we wouldn't dare let anyone talk to us the way we talk to ourselves. Right.
Yeah. And you want to know what's interesting about that?
Yeah.
If you find yourself resonating with what Charyse is saying and you're like, yeah, I totally do beat myself up, you are perpetuating the limited paradigm of failure. Because what's happening when you make failure mean something about you, you're doing something called self-internalization, which means you are internalizing a very neutral moment of, oh, the thing that I wanted to go that way or I intended to go that way didn't go that way. right? It completely flopped, or it did half of what I thought it was going to do, or it took a complete left turn when I intended it to make a right turn. Yeah. And the real opportunity that you have is moving from that place of self-internalization, which means internalizing a neutral event to be against yourself, to come down on yourself in some capacity, right?
Right.
So you get to go, okay, wait a second. What I'm starting to allow myself to hear, what I'm starting to allow myself to learn is failure is neutral. Interesting. Mm-hmm. And the habit that I'm currently perpetuating that makes failure, quote, bad, is the fact that I'm in a habit of making it mean something about me.
Right.
That's it. Okay, cool. So I'm going to practice that awareness. And when I fail, because I'm about to take us into a conversation about success and failure, but when I fail, it's awesome. And it means nothing about me. And it's the data that I need, because failure and success live on the same street.
They do. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I was going to say, and we try to not fail, which means we can't have success. It's like you're stopping you in your tracks.
It's the thing that makes me the most crazy, because I'm watching everybody and I'm like, I see you only in your capacity, only in your potential, right? And the lip service is, no, I know failure is for learning. I know failure is about lessons, but you keep stopping yourself, right? Because you're not understanding the truth about failure and the requirement. It doesn't matter how many times you listen to interviews of Steve Jobs. It doesn't matter how many times you listen to Bill Gates. It doesn't matter how many times you watch Oprah. It doesn't matter how many times whoever else you admire that is amazing and successful and a gorgeous expander for all of us on what's possible. You could hear them ad nauseum say, I failed so many more times than I succeeded. Right? How many times have we heard that? Right? But it's like your system's like, no, just going to omit that. Right? But that's the truth. Right. You cannot succeed without failing. Oh my God. The failure the failures that I have created over the past year. I just recorded a podcast about it too, because I was like, I just have to just talk this stuff out loud because I'm astonished at the data. I'm like, oh, wow. Oh my God. Because I know, and now all of you know, in order to succeed, I have to fail.
That's it.
Which, and what the beauty of that is, when you really get this, then you stop stopping yourself. Then you lean in, then you make the offer, then you fire the team member, you hire the team member, you invest in the coach, you move, your practice from this area to this area, right? You tell the people in your life what you're actually embarking on. Like, there's all these things that we don't do.
Right.
You need to start to do them, because failure and success live on the same street. Period.
I love that. Failure and success live on the same street. And it's true. We need a t-shirt. We should get a t-shirt made.
Okay, great. We'll add that to the merch store.
Okay, there you go.
I love that. Yeah.
And so what you started to talk about a little bit is something that I learned from you, which is isness. Mm-hmm. Isness, right? So would you like to share more?
Yes, I'd love to listen to you talk too. So let's do this together. But, the foundational truth is that nothing means anything until you make it mean something.
Yeah.
Nothing. Not my mother's death doesn't mean anything. The fact that I was a single mother with an 8-month-old baby doesn't mean anything. Plateauing in the business 2 years in a row doesn't mean anything. Like, nothing mean nothing. And this is one of those two that really pushes up against your belief edges, right? Mm-hmm. Because when you first hear this, you're like, what do you mean? Yes, it does. And I also want to say, I love that for you, because that's part of the ego fighting to keep you the same. It's like, don't tell me it means nothing, right?
So but it means everything. Yes, like, if you want to fight for it, okay.
Yes, right. What's that beautiful famous quote that I never know who to credit to, because it was so long ago. If you fight for your limits, you get to keep them.
That's it.
Okay. Such a stunning, gorgeous piece of accuracy. Mm-hmm. So really recognizing that, and recognizing that isness.
Yes.
So what happens is when you first hear this concept and you start to practice the concept, the part of you, which is your nervous system, that is here to keep you the same, wants to argue against, well, how could it just mean nothing? How could it just be neutral, right? Because what's happening is the absence of neutrality, which means the meaning that's being infused into the situation, is actually the thing that's affirming your current identity. And it feeds those emotional addictions, right? And it's like, see, it means this, because if it means this, what's actually happening is your ego is like, and I get to stay alive and we get to stay the same. But the truth of the matter is that nothing means anything. And it's so, I mean, you want to talk about freedom? Like freedom. So yes, and that's a huge part of it, because when it comes to failure, the meaning infusion that 95% of us give is it means something bad about me if I fail, right? So applying isness to this journey of failure and success is so important, because it's the only place that we can have data.
Right. It is the only place that we can have data.
Right. If not, it's just a skewed version of the way you're seeing the world, which is not data.
Right. And it's so limiting. And it keeps us playing small.
Correct.
It keeps us playing small.
Correct. Which really then opens up to really what the top of the conversation is. Fear of success. I mean, being successful, let me correct myself, right? Becoming that version of you that holds your full holistic definition of success. Success in your marriage, success in your parenthood, success in your friendships, success in your wellness, success in your physical body, success in your emotional well-being, success in your team, success in your leadership, success in your money. So whatever that definition of it is recognizing that is calling you up into a different version of you that has a different relationship with feeling safe, having that success. Because that's really what fear of success is. And so many beautiful souls have said, but I don't understand. I'm doing everything to be successful. How could you tell me it's fear of success? I get up at 5 a.m. I drink my kale juice. I meditate. I this, I that, right? Like
doing all the things.
I do all the things, right? But really what's happening is it's not about what you consciously want. It's not about you saying, oh, okay, yeah, I want this, and yes to this, and yes to this. Your conscious mind is the tiniest, like actual 3% at its best now with the latest research amount of output. The reason why it's actually fear of success is because your nervous system has no record of you experiencing it. So it creates such an absence of safety. You feel unsafe inside. And that's what actually creates a fear of success, because when we are experiencing our all, right? And each one of us define it different. And I love that for us. When you are successful and you have everything that you've wanted and you have it all at once, just feel that immediately. Right now, your body's like, maybe not. Well, then something's got to give, or the other shoe's going to drop, or this is too good to be true, or I shouldn't want more than I already have. And all of these things come up, not because they're accurate, but because at the concept of having everything that you desire and deserve and having it all at the same time is such a perceived level of unsafety for your system that it starts to drive that level of mind. And if you haven't worked with Charyse yet, you believe that thinking. And you hide again. This is what becoming is about.
Right. It feels so big. And those of you who are listening or watching, I want you to tune into how your body feels right now. Like literally tune into how your body feels right now as we're having this discussion. Because if you've never had this level of discussion, I bet you're feeling a little constricted right now. You're feeling a little queasy in your belly right now. You're feeling a little anxious right now. You're feeling like, whoa, what's going on here? Like, and that's that's the feeling of unsafety in your body, because this is a new conversation. This is a completely new conversation. And whenever we are exposed to something different, again, it's perceived as, this is new. Wait, we don't know this. Wait a minute now. And then you start feeling what you're likely feeling right now in your body. So I just want to have everybody just take a deep breath.
Mm.
And then blow it out. And what that's communicating to our bodies, you guys, is that it is safe. Literally, you are communicating to your body, we're safe, we're fine, we can shift out of that fight or flight, we're good, this is new info, I got this, I can understand this, I can take this in. So if you need to take another deep breath, by all means do that, because I want to bring you back online, right? You may have gone offline just a second ago, like, whoa, what happened, right? And I just really want to underscore the importance of really paying attention to how your body feels, because that is such a major guide. So often, and we've been conditioned, when something feels scary, or I'll just go with scary. When something feels scary, we've been taught to retreat. But we know different, don't we, Tracy?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
What do we know? What do we know about? What do we know about when we start to have those feelings? What do we know about that?
Yeah. What we know is that it's then our responsibility as this beautiful director of this whole ship, and the ship being you, your beautiful body, the vessel, your humanness, your energetic being, having a human experience. What we know is that fear is the indication that you are leaning into that next thing. Fear is the blueprint. Fear is the green light. And what we get to do is we get to bring and direct a new sense of safety to the system that currently feels unsafe. We've all been taught to perceive fear as the stop sign.
Yeah.
Right? But fear is not danger. Right? Okay, you're in a house and there's a fire, you leave, that's danger. You're on the beach and you're going to go in the water and you see a shark fin, that's danger. Those are the moments where we really, really want this wiring, this primal wiring of ours. Go lead, please. Like, those are the moments. But those moments are very few and far between in your human experience, actually. And what's happening is because you hadn't learned the truth about fear, maybe until this moment, unless you've also, been in Charyse's world for a while. Fear is this gorgeous, loving, protective part of us. That singular role is to make sure that you stay the same, which means not experiencing any of your greatness, bigness, success, more, however you're defining that. And when we realize, oh, wait a minute, this is what's supposed to be. Like, anytime I move towards the unknown, anytime I'm in a moment where something's unfamiliar, I'm just going to give it a sec, because there's fear, because fear is my bestie, right? She's my ride or die. And I'm going to love her. I'm going to give this nervous system that feels unsafe, I'm going to actually give it the safety it needs so that I can bring it along with me into all of the things that I want to do and all of the things that I want to create and the impact that I want to have in this world. Fear is loving. Yeah. Fear is loving.
That's such a paradigm shift from what we've been taught. But it's so true.
It is so true.
I love the way you explain it, because you explain it in such an easy, digestible way, to really get it. And you're like, I can see that. I never thought about it like that before, but I can see that. And it's so true. Going back to the whole success part, or failing part, we try to avoid failure, but in our trying to avoid failure, we avoid success as well. And Correct. The same thing with fear. We try to avoid that fear. I don't want to do anything that's scary, that's going to take me out of my comfort zone, because it's scary. It feels, it doesn't feel good now. Yeah. But if you try to avoid, if you're literally intentionally trying to avoid fear or anything that's going to raise a sense of fear, then you simultaneously erase the possibility of your expansion.
Did you hear this, woman? Yes. Yes, because you're over here thinking it's fear of failure, so you're avoiding failure. But what you're really doing is you're avoiding success, because failure and success live on the same street.
Yeah.
Right? So you take out the meaning, you shift the relationship of failure, you go, oh, amazing data, thanks, tweak, move on, do it again. And then you arrive at success. You just said it so beautifully. right? Because that's really what it's about. If you are perceiving that you're afraid of failure and you think that you're just not doing things so that you don't fail, what I really want you to see in bright neon lights right now is, oh my God, what I'm actually doing is I am avoiding my own success. Hello, you are the problem and the solution. I know. So good. It never gets old. It never gets old, because it's always the fact, even with what I was referencing before, in my experience that I'm in right now, right? As a leader in this space, as a creator of this body of work, I am always amazed when I have a moment or something that illuminates that's like, see, you are the problem. Like, oh, I am the common denominator, right? There's like stuff going on with the team and with the company. And it's like, oh, okay, hold on, stop. It's you. And I want to share that with everyone, because I also want to, let's give another elevated paradigm. Let's give another perspective shift, because everything we're taught about, everything was wrong. And that's why we're building the new world. And all these paradigms set us off like, woo, yeah, right?
Right.
It's not, right? Self-internalization would say, oh my God, I can't be the problem, because if I'm the problem, there's something wrong with me. And I knew it wasn't enough. I knew I wasn't. Yes, I knew I was broke. I knew it wasn't enough. I knew I couldn't do this. Da, 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 da. And instead, what I need you to do is shake that off, like literally shake it off. And I want you to move into actual freedom and liberation, which is like, oh my God, I'm the problem. This is amazing. I don't have to wait on anything or anyone outside of me ever. It's me. She's saying it's me. I'm the common denominator. I'm the cause of the effect. Yeah, bring it on. Bring it on. It alleviates the abdication of power and blaming and needing to wait for other things and circumstances to be like perfectly organized around you. You're just like, ooh, so if I'm the variable, then I'm the variable.
Bam.
Game on. Game on.
I love this. It's so true. And, you know, so all of this, you guys, I learned this through Tracy, you know, through the school of becoming. And let me say, before I go down that lane, let me just say this, because it doesn't matter where you are in your business. Whether you're at the very beginning, fear is going to show up because you're stepping out of your comfort zone, you're doing something different. Whether you are where I'm at, same. Tracy is at. And Tracy, you run like a seven-figure company, multiple seven-figure company.
I do.
And it still applies. You don't just, this is not a one and done. You don't Correct. Just, oh, nailed it, got it, check, moving on. No ma'am, no spam, no ham, no turkey. No. That is not how it works. It's at every level. Yes. When you allow yourself to go to the next level, whatever that next level is for you, like not just in business, but in life and love and relationships and health and everything. Right?
Everything. And something else I just want to add to the gorgeous cake you just created here is also when you shift internally. I think this is a part that's often not discussed enough, right? We think that, okay, I get it. Fear is going to show up like when I launch my new company or when I write that book or when I speak on a stage or whatever. But fear also shows up in the same way when you shift from an emotional familiarity of anxiety to a new emotional familiarity of ease.
Right.
Right. It doesn't have to be this grandiose climb Machu Picchu kind of thing. It is anything when you are moving from what was familiar to what was unfamiliar and then taking what was unfamiliar and starting to make it familiar.
Right.
That is when just give yourself a couple seconds and fear comes upon you and you're like, ooh, I was waiting for you. Because I know you're right. And that becomes also as you're sensing us and you're like, it's when you grow from a higher conscious lens, it's data, it's levity, it's utilizing the entrepreneurship, the motherhood, the relationships as the vehicle to workshop your growth, right? Mm-hmm. And answering the objective of your soul, right? That to me has always been what entrepreneurship and motherhood was. It was like, oh, thank you for these very human experiences that are allowing me to work out all my shit.
Isn't it the truth? Oh my God. You know, I didn't think about it in the context of motherhood, but that's true. I definitely thought about it in the context of entrepreneurship because when when you sign up for entrepreneurship,
Mhm.
you're signing up for a lifetime of growth and discovery, self-discovery. You're just in for the buckle up because you're in for the ride.
You
That's
are.
what it comes down to,
Yeah.
and it's in such a beautiful way. I mean, I'm saying it kind of sarcastically, but it's such a beautiful thing because you really get to learn you and understand you better,
Mhm.
and you evolve and play in ways that you would have never. I don't think you've ever would have been able to evolve had you not, stepped into this journey, this
Yeah.
path.
Well,
Yeah.
evolution is the point.
Right.
Evolution
Yeah.
is the point, right? The things that we get to do and the impact we get to make and the businesses we have and the relationships we have, like they're luscious and they're an amazing part of the experience. But the point is to evolve. That's why if you're not growing, you're dying.
True.
Right? Like we all have to answer the call. We're here to grow. When you're noticing that something isn't feeling right, or you keep rubbing up against the same result or the same plateau, or something outside of you happens, like big team loss or an illness diagnosis or a divorce or anything. It's like, okay, these are catalysts that are inviting me to evolve, to pay attention to myself,
Right.
to heal, to grow, which is only going to make me a better business owner, a better woman or man, a better partner, a better parent, right? It was
So true.
Ram Dass that said, the best thing that I can do for you is work on me. And the best thing that you can do for me is work on you.
So true. Oh God, that's so good.
Right?
That's so good.
Yeah. Like, thanks for the answer to life.
Basically. That's it. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, man. Tracy, we have covered so much. But I have to share with you guys this. I was like moving and grooving in my business. And I've had multiple businesses before. They were all very successful, moving and grooving in my business. But I want to share this for a very specific reason. The businesses that I had run and that I developed and grew to a certain level of success, it was, at the time, it's all I knew. I did it the way I knew how to do it. And then I meet Tracy. I'm laughing because okay, I'm going to stop laughing. All right. So then I meet Tracy. And how I met Tracy is my business coach at the time had a retreat and he invited Tracy in. And I don't know if Tracy was there for 15 minutes or an hour. I don't know. What I do know is that when Tracy entered the room, first of all, I'm like, who's that? Like she just had this presence and just this magnetism, right? She had this presence. And then she walked us through this exercise and this gorgeous visualization process. And I'm like, OMG, whoever this is, I need more of her. Right. And then when I entered into your world, when I entered the School of Becoming and got certified with the Neuro Identity Evolution methodology, that whole process, as I continued to, grow my business, I continued to build it. However, it was different. I was building it from a place of ease and flow. And when I say that, I don't want it to be misconstrued like, oh, you don't have to do the work. No, you got to do the work. But here's what's different. It's who you're being when you're doing the work, right? It's really paying attention to, taking that aligned action. I've kind of been talking about a lot, taking aligned action for quite some time now, but it really is. It's understanding, okay, when fear shows up, that's not the stop sign, right? Because I cannot tell you how many times before that when fear would show up, I would kind of slow down, pull back, like, oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Maybe I shouldn't be doing it this way. No. And then I think about like how many years, how much more successful, could I have been, whatever. Then that's not the point because we're all on our own journey, right? And that's what needed to happen at that time. And this is what needs to happen at this time. So no, regrets or anything like that. It's all part of the evolution that we're talking about. But when you really understand how your mind works, how your body works with your mind, how everything is connected, right? And we say that like we know it intellectually, but by being able to embody it, truly understand it, on a cellular level and really embody it is a totally different story. When I started working with Tracy and entered the School of Becoming, that's when all of it kind of started to gel and come together. And so I'm so grateful for you, Tracy. I am.
Thank you. I received this
You're
and I'm just listening to you and taking in every word and your essence and your energy. So number one, thank you for saying yes to you and trusting us and watching you, witnessing who you have become, because what you just said about it's not the absence of the aligned work. It's not ease and flow doesn't mean, spa days and someone's going to knock on your door with
sometimes it does.
right. Right. It does when you're focused on something, but it doesn't mean the absence of getting it done.
Right.
And working and doing your thing, but it's the being. That's what you said. It is who you be while you host that class. It's who you be when you write that copy. It's who you be when you sit down to have that uncomfortable conversation with the team member. It's who you be when you make decisions from abundance instead of scarcity, right? It's just who you be. And that's what identity is about. And that's why you can take someone and they can do relatively the same actions, but have completely different results.
Yep.
Because who they were being in alignment to those strategies was completely different.
Yeah, that's everything. That is the difference maker. And then going back to what you said a second ago, you are the cause and you are the effect. So you are the common denominator. So when you work on you,
everything changes because you're the variable, right? Like you're the variable, and it's so exciting. I often find myself saying, like, come on, belly up to the bar. This is the truth. And the longer you fight that you're the cause of the effect, the longer you leave your power outside of you, the longer you stay externally dependent on people, places, circumstances, the market, the industry, for things to go a certain way. Stop giving your power away. And get excited about the fact that you are the cause of the effect. That's where your power exists.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good stuff. Tracy, I could talk to you forever.
I know.
However, we don't have forever.
Okay, fine.
Okay, fine. Yeah. But like I said, we've talked about some really just beautiful, we've shifted some paradigms. We've definitely increased awareness around many things: fear, failure, success, identity, evolution, all the things. So we've covered quite a bit. And I know that there are people right now listening like I was, 2-3 years ago. I remember years ago that was. And they're like, oh my gosh, where is she? How can I get more of her? So I think you've actually you have something to give.
I do.
Tell us more. Tell us a little bit.
I do. I have Expander. So Expander is an amazing talk about shifting paradigms.
Oh yeah.
So it is a beautiful, beautiful ebook and an accompanying audiobook, but it's not like an Audible audiobook. It's a private audio podcast feed that we just send you right away and you listen to it. It's me reading it. And essentially what Expander is, it's me breaking down 7 limiting paradigms and introducing you to 7 brand new paradigms in replacement of those that were limiting you, with some wonderful internal strategies to play with along the way. And that is our gift to you.
Yummy, yummy, yummy. And thank you. And I will make sure that the team links that down below in the show notes, because everybody needs this. Yeah. That's for doggone sure.
Yeah.
Woo, I love it. I love it. Okay. So are you ready, Tracy?
Oh, yes.
Rapid fire.
All right, my lightning round. I'm on a game show. Okay.
Yeah,
I need to stretch. Okay.
Hilarious. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Question number 1. Don't think too hard. This is rapid fire now. All right.
Okay, I'm ready.
So, who was your childhood celebrity crush?
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. I don't know his name, but he was the older brother on Joey Lawrence, older brother on Blossom.
Blossom, yeah.
I was
kidding. Yeah, really great hair too. Yeah. All of the Lawrence brothers. I think there's 3. They all have really good hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I haven't thought about him since then.
That's so funny. Okay, cool. All right. If there was only one person who you could trade places with for a day, who would you like to trade places with for a day?
Daniel Levy. He is okay. He's amazing. He was he's on and co-wrote Schitt's Creek with his father, Eugene Levy. I am obsessed with him.
Oh, Eugene Levy. Okay.
So Dan Levy, I'm obsessed with him. I love everything about him. I love what he stands for. I love what he's leading in the world. And I just love him so much that I would trade places with him for the day.
So I know Eugene Levy. I don't know Dan Levy, so now I have to go look.
Oh, did you ever watch Schitt's Creek?
I didn't. I totally missed it. I
Okay.
see little memes pop up and it has
Okay.
Schitt's Creek on the the
Okay.
signage on it, but no.
Okay, as someone who loves you and as one of your mentors, I'm going to give this as a directive and a recommendation.
Okay.
Start because the laughter, the joy you will feel, and they're short episodes. It's not like you're investing tons of time, and you can just go. It is such quality. You're gonna love it.
Okay, Schitt's Creek on the list.
Okay,
on the list. Okay. I may be the only person who's not watched it. All right, so here we go. And I'm interested to get your take on this. What is your one guilty pleasure?
Can I have two? Because two just popped up.
Okay, go for it.
Chocolate.
Anything? Any chocolate?
Any kind of chocolate, especially a baked good. Like I can consume an unreasonable, you'd be like, how is she still eating that? Like I can consume so much chocolate bars, Dove chocolate chip cookies, brownies, I actually was at my dad's for dinner last night and we were having this conversation because I am my father's daughter and my stepmother was like, I don't know how you two, like, where are you putting all this? And I was like, I just love it. So guilty pleasure. And the second thing that came up was nothingness. Like I also am really good at being lazy. Like I'm phenomenal. I can become one with a couch, but I don't feel any guilt. It's just like my pleasure. It's just like, I'm just going to lay here. I could lay all day. And just keep laying and not think about it.
No, I can totally get that. It's been really, really nice here. The weather's been really nice here in Houston. And so like my intention is to take my laptop outside, work by the pool, and then the laptop doesn't open and I'm just chilling by the pool and it's all day and it's like 8 hours later. I'm like, oh, was I supposed to be doing something?
That's all right.
But no guilt. I mean, honestly,
exactly.
I just remember like, oh yeah, I think I was supposed to be working on something, but it's like no guilt attached to it because that's what I needed apparently.
Right.
To disconnect and just be outside. So
exactly.
We'll go out there later today too. Yeah, I was interested to see how you're going to answer that question because I asked someone that question before, and they said, well, guilt is disempowering. If we're going to go there, so guilt is disempowering. Emotion, and then they said, I'm going to make sure I get this right. Pleasure, because guilty pleasure, right? So pleasure is the gateway to power.
Yeah, it's true.
Right? It is, right?
Yeah. So I don't even think I necessarily focused on the word guilty because I don't experience guilt. Yeah. It's just like, it's more to me when I heard you say that, it was like the term, like a sinful pleasure. Yeah. Or, you know what I'm saying? Not so much like actually feeling guilty about it.
No, I'm with you. That's because that's how I meant it. Yeah. But then when she said that, I'm like, oh, that's a good point. Valid. Yeah. Okay. I see that.
Yeah.
So I love that. What's the biggest risk you've ever taken?
Leaping out of my corporate job and starting this business when everyone thought I was absolutely losing my mind and crazy. And almost every decision since then. Right?
That's funny. Yeah. Because with things like smooth, like everything was moving and grooving corporate wise and like you'd be a fool to leave. That kind of thing.
I was in a healthy 6-figure job, working from home, had my daughter, had my townhouse, had my life. They loved me. I loved them. There was nothing wrong other than my soul was dying and it kept screaming and screaming and screaming. And I was like, I'm going to listen to this. And I remember everyone was like, are you okay? Are you sure? You're a single mother with a young daughter and you're about to leap from that security to go pipe dream. Like, what do you think you're about to go do?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'm just going to go do that.
Yeah. I love that for you. And look what you've created. Look what was birthed from your willingness to listen to, like you said, your soul was dying. You knew there was more impact for you to make in a different way, in a much bigger way. And damn it, you have done that and continue to do that. So thank you for listening to your soul crying out to you and not letting it die. I was gonna say in a cubicle, but you say you work from home. But thank you for answering the call.
Thank you. And I received that. And it's a huge part of everything that we all do. It's like when you show up in whatever that more is, whatever that bigness is, whatever that next level is, the impact you make on the people around you and what you show others is possible is also part of your responsibility.
Yeah. Yeah. And it doesn't have to make sense to anybody but you.
That part.
That's it.
That part.
Yeah. But, that takes us back into people pleasing, adaptive behaviors. We won't even go there. But yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
What would they think? Yeah. No, you're a grown ass. Okay. Never mind. I won't go there. We won't go there.
I'm always here for that. Smack me around a little bit. I love it.
Grown ass women. Who cares what they think, man? This is
Exactly.
you. This is your soul. This is not. Listen. If you have been, if you have that, like that Tracy, I'm gonna just call it Tracy moment right now. Like when you feel like your soul is just crying out, like it's your job is sucking, or your business, maybe your current practice, the way in which you're operating is sucking the life out of you, then I was gonna say you don't have a choice, but you do have a choice. Mm-hmm. You can stay allowing it to suck your soul and your energy and all the things, or you can choose to step into the unknown. And it's scary. It can be scary, but it's so freeing. Would you not agree? It's like so freeing once you.
1,000%. And also, if we collapse time and space for a little while and we go ahead and I click my fingers and now you're laying on your deathbed on the final day of you on earth and you are moments away from taking your last breath, you have a very, very clear instance where you look back on your life and everything that led up to that moment. And there's only one of two ways that moment goes. The moment either goes, oh, shit, I could have, I would have, I should have, regret, and that feeling, and then it's over. Or you get to look back and you go, oh my God, I laid it all out there. I failed. I succeeded. I showed up. What a ride. What a ride. Because the only truth there is that none of us are getting out alive.
That's the truth.
Right? It's literally the only actual truth. People used to say the only truth there is death and taxes, but people can evade their taxes. So that's not even true. That's like truth is there is a deadline to your human experience. So what, I don't even understand what risk is then. There is no risk. Yeah. There is no risk because one day it's all over. It's more about how do you want to experience life? How much aliveness do you want to have? Right? Yeah. How much success do you want to have based on how much failure you're willing to play around with and learn from? Yeah. And most importantly, which puts me on a whole other soapbox of joy and happiness, what do you want to show the people that are watching you? What kind of person do you want to be? What kind of example do you want to set? And that's not even tapping into what kind of mother or father do you want to be? Right. Because your children are watching you. They are absorbing you. And if you lead a very, fear-based, I'm not going to get after it. I'm going to talk about getting after it, but I'm going to sink back down, or I'm going to hide, I'm going to hedge. And then out of the other side of your mouth, you're like, I hope my child feels confident and unstoppable and they go after their dreams. It's like, hello.
Incongruence.
Thank you. That is exactly the word that was in my mind.
Yeah. Oh my God. We're starting to talk. I'm like, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty diabolical awesome. All right. As we're wrapping up, I have a couple more questions, but I'm just I'm going to go with like two more questions. Okay. What's something you wish you were better at?
Oh my God. Roller skating and ice skating.
Okay.
I cannot. I have size 11 flat feet. I'm pigeon-toed. Okay. And literally like a year or two ago, the five of us, I have 3 college-age daughters and my beautiful husband, and they can skate. They put any wheels on their feet and they're all like off for the day. They took me to an ice skating rink, and I no lie I had like the 5-year-old little like push thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like barely making it across the ice.
Guess what? It's all good. Because what you may not know is that Tracy can sing her butt off, and she can dance and have fun and help you totally evolve who you are. So there you go. You have other gifts and talents.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Last question. Question. If you were stuck on a deserted island, what's the one thing that you would have to have?
Music.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Music. Like, I would not allow myself to survive without it.
Yeah. Music. Yeah. I'm with you. I'm gloss.
yeah. I know you are gorgeous. You're always so gorgeous. Yes.
Thank you. But I get the music piece. Yeah, music and gloss, and I'm good. Yeah. So, oh my gosh, Tracy, this has been so much fun.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for just you. Thank you for you.
Thank you. I received that and I give it right back. Thank you for being you and shining your light in the world and allowing yourself to become more and more and more magnetic, because when you do, you keep expanding for everybody else.
So true. And I received that. So thank you.
Yeah.
And that, my friends, concludes another fabulous episode of the Charyse Williams Show. As always, thank you. I love you. And I will see you next time for another episode of the Charyse Williams Show. Bye for now.